Okay.
GnawBear 190. He got to 93.
Yeah.
Oh, good afternoon.
Good morning, good afternoon, UK time. Good morning, US time. How are
Well,
you?
it's actually afternoon for me, but probably morning still for some. We're actually.
I know that
Amazing.
Nola, it's mountain time for you, so it's morning for you guys.
He
I'm in
had
the
more morning
mountains
time.
over in California, and lunchtime for you guys over on the East Coast, and afternoon, stroke evening time for us here in the UK. Thank you for putting the show back, by the way. It's appreciated. I've literally got in 15 minutes ago, so we would have been like,
wow. Yeah, man, I've been taking care. We got it all handled. Everything that's been going on. It's been a rocking good time, dude.
Well, we've had an awesome week. I think everyone. I think I've had like 4 celebrations of today already.
Mm-hmm. I think I barely slept, to be honest.
Last night was the least of the 4 nights of celebration that I've had about what we're going to be talking about today. So I thought I'm going to go nice and easy. Normally it's a heavy night on a Saturday, but I thought go nice and easy on Saturday because I want to be on point for this Sunday show.
Yeah.
It's been one hell of a week.
Let's slow burn this into announcement because I'm just letting people gather at the moment. I did a couple tweets. We only just went live. So you've had a good weekend.
I have. I've been looking at expanding my business ventures, and I am a landlord, so I have properties, a property portfolio, and now I'm looking at getting some like beachside properties. Yeah, more like kind of mobile homes. Like static vans, and making a new business that I'm going to be using some of my crypto profits and buying some static vans.
Really? That's interesting.
Renting them out so families can have more affordable holidays here in the UK, just in case this crap continues or comes back and we can't leave the country. So, yeah, I've been looking at some properties, some little vans and some different places this weekend. It's been really cool. I've been really excited about stuff.
That is exciting. It's good to hear that you're making new sort of goals for yourself and that they're coming from other things as well. That's always good to hear. Well, we got Sam Connor is live with us.
Yeah, hello Sam. How you doing? Hope you're well. I know that he's been on his vacation as well, I believe, recently.
He was at Disney World, right?
I hope that was a really good time for you guys.
I hear that there's a lot of lines, so hopefully you didn't have to stand. There's a lot of lines at Disney World, so I hope he didn't have to stand around too long.
Oh, was there? There were a lot of people going through the gates there?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I don't know when it's like, because Florida's always like, mild, isn't it, or hot. I don't know when the kind of real busy times are for you guys over there. I know,
since it's like early spring, it's probably a very mild, time, a good time to waste time standing in line instead of baking in the sun and the top of the summer, But okay, I think now we can really start to roll into the show here. How do we start this off, dude? Because this is a lot.
We've got a lot to unpack.
This is a lot to unpack.
So let's go right back. Let's go right back to where are we looking? I think tail end of last year, beginning of this year.
Late January or early February.
Drift Exchange decided to try and look at the Stellar Network in a different way. And that was rather than raising funds at the end of December and then having those funds in XLM static that we did as a fundraise, then utilizing those in team building and all the other stuff that normal crypto projects do. What we wanted to do was we wanted to use a portion of those funds reinvested into what we saw as the shining stars on the Stellar Network. And this is not just shining stars in terms of NFT artists, but shining stars in innovation and shining stars in different projects. So this now totals quite a few investments that the Drift Exchange, the team and Phil have basically signed off on. So there's Interstellar. We know what they're doing with obviously all of the Martian stuff. We made a big investment into yourself, Andrew, and the Punk collection.
Yeah.
Made a big investment into Rabbit because we believe the open source wallet that they're creating, especially when they go mobile, is going to be a great thing for all of us to be able to access the SDEX. And finally, we made a big investment into Gnaw. Partly, there's two parts to Gnaw's investment when we spoke about this. The first part of that investment was the innovation. I think there's probably only a handful of people on the network that are as forward thinking as Gnaw's been, right? Since I've been on Stellar, there's only a handful of people that have constantly not been happy, settled into where they are currently. They're constantly trying to be 6 and 12 months down the road. And we saw that and we said, we don't just want to buy into the NFT art, we want to buy into the innovation, because we feel that innovation is absolutely critical to bringing more people into Stellar, to highlight in Stellar NFTs, the quality of the artwork and all these other things. So we made all these different investments, right? So it wasn't just investment into one person or one project, it was a variety of different investments. And this was absolutely super cool. We've had some incredible piece of art from yourself, Dablo, Gnaw, and the people that we've invested in over these months.
It's been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we've done projects. I mean, look, we've got the Extreme Crew running. We've got different characters. We've got a whole host of almost we were listing it down the other day, and we've probably done in 3 months with Drift Exchange what many projects do in 12 months or more. Already.
I've been living like it's a year. Jesus.
Yeah, it's been a crazy few months. Then of course we had, and I'm not going to dwell on this, we had a lot of complexities on the network, a lot of belief systems and challenging thoughts, and a lot of where I think a lot of us didn't really feel comfortable with where we fit into it, what was going on, but so what happened was we felt then that we had lost one of our star, contributors towards our project, which is Gnaw, right? Yeah. We were absolutely mortified. I think it's probably a month, I would say, that it took me to really find myself again after that rocky period.
I've probably only truly found myself in the last 24 hours.
Well, so what I'm trying to say to our listeners is, it was deeply impactful, and I think it really rocked the equilibrium of the network. That's my own opinion. You guys have obviously got your own. I think this period of time for us to work through has been really challenging, because I think it's been inner work that's been needed and outer work that's been needed, and we've had to take that time, and we're all obviously different. So that I can confidently say that period of time for me is done. It's been a chapter. I've learned many lessons from it, but that period of time is done. And out of the blue, so this was early part of last week. We hadn't had any communication at all with Gnaw as a team. Yeah. We were carrying on doing what we were doing and hoping that one day we would be graced with the innovation and with the presence. And then we started to see a few clues. I mean, maybe as a little bit before last week, we started to see a couple of clues.
Clues were there before we noticed. Before I noticed, there was, Twitter account being made last month. He slyly made an account. I'm just going to put it up there.
Yeah, but for us, it was what really took our breath was that we had a few clues, and I'm not going to go into them. It's not my business to say, because it's not my place, because it wasn't me that was directly involved. Right. But we had a few clues where there may be a creeping of the bear out of the hibernation, and a fresh springtime was coming.
Conveniently during the first day of spring, I believe. Yes,
we are today. This is the first day of spring, exactly, in the northern hemisphere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the timing is almost like the universe saying to us, everything is, you know, integrating together. And yeah, so to cut a long story short, and to not bore you and keep you from your day,
busy days. Yeah,
we had this email arrive from an unknown account, right, to Drift Exchange.
yes,
And there wasn't really any information in the email, but there was a message that was essentially saying Drift Exchange are now going to be the custodians of the bear, right? And all of us were like, "Oh shit!"
when you sent me messages, I was unsure of what the details were. You said I need your opinion on something, which I was like, okay, what's that? And then you were dragging it out so long and having I could tell a hard time figuring out how to say it. I was like, is there something wrong? What's the opinion? At this point, I was like, no, it's got to be all right, and it can't be another thing. And you were like, I got an email, and there are 999 GnawBears sitting on this email from we don't know who, other than who else could it be?
Yeah.
And you're like, what do we do? And I was like, well, what can we do? We don't have any metadata. We don't have any like direction. We do nothing. And that's when I think we all got really obsessed with what was going on and when we were going to hear more. And before I knew more, I think it was that night. I was out because that day I was out on my one wheel, and I just spent a lot of time like thinking the last couple of days and getting outside the house because it's been so nice. And that night I was looking around on Twitter and I saw this hand, right, with a ticket, right, and saying how they were creating stuff for Action Token, and the profile it goes by Seraph, and it says they're a dev and doing stuff for NFTs, and frankly, being an artist and plenty of people, if they look at art long enough, they recognize someone's art almost instinctually. It doesn't take very long. That hand was enough for me to know who exactly that was, and I put two and two together and remember that was some stuff that he was working on before this whole thing went to crap. So I'm going to jump to the point where the artist formerly known as Gnaw still is the Gnaw collection. Drift Exchange is now the home for Gnaw through Lightment. But Gnaw needed someone to curate the collection. And before you guys could even think of it, he said to you guys first, not even to me. He didn't even talk to me about it. I just heard from you that he wanted it to be me, to mint everything, to handle all the data. And I almost fell over. I mean, thankfully I was sitting down, but I could have fell out of my chair. It's still hard to believe, and it's a real honor, and it's emotional actually, to think that this is the way that it's come around. And I'm sure people could think like, well, can't he just do it, come back and just do it and do all this stuff himself? And I'm sure that could be the case. No one could say he couldn't. But I think it's more out of protecting the collection so he can move on to other things, and protect him if, say, I don't know, if God only knows, right? But the collection was just so important to all of us. The not just the aside from Drift investing in me and him, it was important to just all of Lightman, all of Stellar. We're talking about the guy who was the second largest artist on Lightman aside from me. Before he left, it it was a lot of talk between me and him about teaming up, working on things together, doing our collections, but then doing intertwining things. And now look where we are. And it's like really feels that way right now. When I minted the new 6 GnawBears for the new account, which I've tweeted about, and we've shared quite a few places. I was talking with Gnaw as it was happening. He was feeding me new coded data for the traits. I'm gonna bring one up. It was just St. Patrick's Day, so I'm gonna bring that one up. I need that on my browser. So that's where we are on my side while I do this.
So why Andrew's doing that, let me just cut in and just give a couple more layers of the onion.
Yeah.
So Nor's then reached out after the email, because we were like, well,
yes.
we're clear. We've now had this dump, right, of 1,000 bears, and we have no idea what we're doing. So what do you want us to do? In keeping with, remember, for us, there was a conversation where, Nor was saying to us, in terms of dollar values and things. And we said, look, let's forget about the dollar value.
Right.
We want to be keeping with the innovation, the fun, the whole aspect of what was created in the first instance. We want to be making sure that we reflect where you are for that collection. You've created them. How can we do this? So then we had this conversation. So then I knew that he was, not wanting to run the collection himself, but he was wanting for us to reach out to Andrew for the most qualified person probably on the network in terms of being able to mint consistent emission rates of NFTs, connections to different individuals on Stellar Network, probably the most, or one of the, maybe the 3 or 4 most qualified people on the network. And so we knew then that we had been given that, like I say, the custodian of the bears. And then it was a case of someone's put here, it would be great to have a Stellar bear. What Nora said is he is going to almost help us, right, in an invisible capacity. So we're going to have Drift Exchange are going to be running the bears. And in terms of the innovation aspect, we're going to have Inc. doing all of the stuff with the minting and with all of the connections with regards to how they should be put out. We're continuing with very much along the lines of what Nor wanted, which was keeping the bears affordable, so that they were a very low 252, 262 XLM, depending on the dollar rate, but roughly.
You told me 262 this morning. I was like, you got it.
Yeah, so 262 XLM, which is again like $50 for these, the most fantastic bears, and so we now have this responsibility where we were like, this is just so cool because we can now continue what was being done, what everyone was finding so fun. I mean, you only need to look across Twitter, to look across Telegram. How many of us have still got bears? And now we're going to see this new wave of the comeback bears, where you're going to get the OGs from before Christmas, and then you're going to get like the GnawBears X ones as well. You're going to get this whole new, and it's super exciting because
it's so exciting. Like it's like there's still so much to still plan. Like we literally threw this together in the last few days. Like it was just what was it, like Tuesday, Wednesday? Who knows? I barely have had time to think about it, other than think about anything else. Even I've just been focused on this whole idea, and me and Noah. God, we were spending so much time talking before he had to take a break and get out of this mess that he was in, of feeling so just terribly hurt by all the harassment. That we picked up right where we left off. It was like 2 people who hadn't lost the conversation, and now it's just overjoyous how we feel about all of this. I mean, when he was working on giving me the new traits, which I'm going to go into in a second. It's very important to know about these traits. Is that he said to me, he said, Andrew, you have no idea, man. I'm in tears because I thought this was gone. I thought we weren't going to get to do this anymore. And I said, we never wanted it to go away. That was never an option for us. And here he is, and he's doing a lot of stuff for Action Token, which, hopefully he can share more about in his own time. But so the traits, very quickly, these traits have no percentages. Now that is by design on GNaw's side. The traits that are found in these 999 bears are from what I gather, to be, when he made them, they were dated technically before the original 9 GnawBears. And so he's brought in traits that were designed and then scrapped for the ones that we were now collecting up until he stopped. So this collection is like I don't know. I don't know how you describe it, but it makes it a little more unique because it's a never was in a way. So there's things in here that you're going to see that we've never seen before, and that might be because they were moved off on to something else, or they're all completely new. So one of the big things that I think about as a question, as a collector, as a fan, is when he was working on the Minecraft tie-in game. And I figure, in good time, we'll hear something about that. But it makes me very excited that the innovation side is what the focus is. So I would imagine we will be going full steam ahead with getting that done somehow. Not necessarily if he has the time to do it, but there must be some way we can get that completed.
I think that there's going to be a explosion of innovation in these.
Okay.
Because what we've got is, I have to take my hat off, by the way, to Edward and Gnaw and Dablo. Edward, who we had on the show, was it a couple of weeks ago?
We had Edward on, it was a couple of weeks ago.
And he was talking through us about these traits and these boxes. And I know that Nora's flipped his hat to him to say, well done for including this code in a couple of tweets, I think I've seen recently. But this kind of stuff now was never in the first lot. And like you said, a lot of the traits were scrapped and canned. But also what we've said was, as the team, one of the reasons why, and I said at the start, one of the reasons why Gnaw was so, high on our list of someone we wanted to invest in was because of the innovation. And we said, we want to go, someone's put here, we want to look at Stella's integration into the bears. So can we do either specific bears for specific times of the year or specific bears for specific causes, right? So we go back to the bear minting station, let's call it, where the bears are created, and say, no, could there be any chance that we tweak a few things and add a few more bears for specific different things that are going to be happening, whether that's, like we say, Stellar Women, whether that's a certain thing that's a holiday that's happening throughout the year. And he said to us, he's got us, he is quite open to looking at a whole host of innovative things. And let's not forget, guys, we've got that thing that didn't exist the first time around with the bears, and that is unlockable content. And with Drift Exchange, I can tell you that is one of the things that is on the forefront of our mind, where we're saying, how do we utilize unlockable content moving forward with, whether it be bears or whether it be something I'm going to speak to you about in a minute, because I did say to you, you're going to get 2 drops today. So we are looking at how you innovate with that unlockable content and how it can be interconnected. But I do think innovation is not going to be something that is going to be lacking with this new drop of bears.
No, I have to set the giveaway. I think everything moves full steam ahead, to be honest.
Yes, exactly, Arnob. Seasonal bears, that's another thing that we can have a look at. You can
Seasonal
have.
bears, me and Noah, what we were wanted to do to increase people's feelings for how they felt about the value in our collections was that we would do collaborations between those collections and offer them to people a bit more higher priced. Now we're looking at a different market. We can fluctuate how things ever we want. But that these collaborations would offer those collectors something from both of us, something extremely rare from our collections, as well as custom orders from both of us for like 6 months to a year was, I think, our original plan. Like, we wanted to give people a sort of a thing that was very similar to what you're now doing with the Extreme Crew and the Legacy game, is that those are all pieces to something more, right? And that's what we're constantly thinking about, me and him, is ways to constantly be innovative. So I think for anyone who's feeling unsure about all of this and how this works, should just watch, because it's going to be a very interesting thing, especially with everything that he's doing on Action Token and everything I'm going to be doing on Action Token. You're looking at a lot more project collaborations on the network itself, aside from just the artists.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely key, and something that we've, as I said, we've gone about with Drift Exchange right from the off. I think it would be fair to say we were the ones that were really pushing hard for these collaborations, cross project, cross artists, with stuff. I know you guys took your art and you added your little bits in. I'm not talking about, one NFT that you might have collaborated on. I'm talking about on a wider scale. And I think now we're starting to see that happening more and more. And being one of the front runners of that kind of whole movement at Drift Exchange was real. And this now, I mean, we've been reached out to by Gnaw, who's advised us that you would be. He hasn't said Andrew must do it. He has said to Drift Exchange, Andrew being a team member at Drift Exchange.
It's a team. Like, it's finally able to, like, I haven't had an actual like responsibility in my role since we started. We hit the ground running and didn't have a lot of time to really then figure out what we were going to do in the future. We just kind of went with it, and then all the distractions set us back a long time. I think people need to understand that from an investment standpoint, that these things that were completely unnecessary cost us time and money. That's not right, because it also cost us our hearts and our emotions and how we felt about everything, because we were doing this not for money. We were doing it for the better of the network and cryptocurrency relating to it. And anyone who didn't see that was literally just doing it for money. And that's all I will say. So if that person or persons is watching, I'm sick of you, and enough already. Go away and stop it. If you're not going to go away, then learn how to be a better freaking person already, and just stop harassing us every month, every week, because you're jealous of what we do. Enough. You ruined this man's life almost. You ruined mine almost. Enough already. No more of it. There's no tolerance for this kind of action. Anywhere.
Well said. I wholeheartedly agree. And I think, being one of the most vocal supporters of Gnaw through that trauma, and I've got rhinoceros skin, right? I appreciate everyone out there has different types of skin in terms of whether it be color skin or thickness of skin, whether they can take certain things and they can't. We're all sensitive to different things, right? I consider myself, having been on the ambulances for 10 years, been in the military for 5 years, you can pretty much treat me like anything, like a piece of dog dirt on your shoe. And I'll still come out bouncing the other side. But I appreciate there's a lot of people that are not in that position. But like being one of the most vocal supporters through those times, I can even say to you, There's a lot of days where I was like, you know, something, Stella isn't for, well, you know, from our conversation, Stella's
You've
not
been
for
very
me.
vocal about how you felt publicly, and it's been tough. You know, we've tried
Yeah.
our best to make you feel more comfortable, and people have fought with you about it, and they don't understand it, and that's okay. We all aren't like actual, like, you know, people that have known each other more than a few months or weeks, and saying that we've known each other is we've known each other on the internet. Like, people really have to get back to the ground level, is that this is a new kind of thing, and we need to take, you know, some time to breathe on those kinds of feelings. You know, for anyone that you know may want to quickly then, you know, feel this way again, it's just like, but unfortunately for some who aren't that type of person, especially artists, some artists are, most artists are just trying to do art. They just want to express themselves through their visual or whatever interpretation they have. These other things that are happening are already damaging to their psyche from other things in their lives. The art that they're doing is the art that they're using to process their lives that have actually had a lot of heartache. Not everybody, you know, is doing art because of you know, just for the sake of that it makes them happy. It also deep down, it's a process. So remember that when you're telling an artist that they're whatever, is that they're actually, you know, and unfortunately some of this has come from other artists, which is just, I can't wrap my head around. So, you know, that's another thing, and I'm not going to get too far into it because just because.
But what I would like to say is, I would like to say that I believe that the GnawBears project, both the, you know, pre-Christmas, what was going on, you know, and the new bears, I believe that it's something that we can rally around, very much like Stellar Women. You know, I think that the GnawBears is like almost Stellar Pure, right? Where we are wanting to work in some, you know, collaboration capacity with each other so that we can actually elevate the network. Because for me, that's the way that we bring more people to the front door.
Yeah.
If we can work with one another and we can, you know, agree. I'm not saying we all agree and we're like a, you know, a communist, you know, commune, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying what we do is we have a difference of opinions because that's how we learn and we grow. Right. But what we do is we collectively have a difference of opinions and support each other with our difference of opinions, because that's how you get those collaborations and that's how you get innovation, isn't it? The difference of opinions coming together and then creating that hybrid. And
well, let's make it clear, like, anything that happened wasn't about difference of opinions. This was about people literally being aggressive, bullying, saying horrible things about people, making claims, lying. These are all things that are not opinions. These are attacks. You know, people were twisting words and using them like weapons. That's not an opinion. That's a thing that's like purposeful. That's a mind game, and I don't have time to play mind games. I want to be left alone. So if I happen to say something about it, it's because I'm defending myself. It's not an opinion. If someone wants to have a discussion about something with me, then yeah, let's actually find the topic. But there were no topics. These weren't topics. These were people just whining because they heard us complaining about something. So they complained about us complaining. And I'm sorry, it's childish. I'm 35 years old. I'm not in high school. It's time to let it go. Aside from that, Ben, if you could quickly come up with a thing for people to type in for giving away of GnawBear 190. We are GnawBear. We got so distracted with news.
Okay, sure, let me do it.
We are giving away GnawBear 190 to a very lucky, very patient listener. I thank every one of you. I don't really want anyone to really have too intense of a discussion in the comments, please. And also, if we could keep the topics focused on the show and not so much what you may or may hear in the news, please. Saw some early comments that were not reflective of the show. So if you could refrain from sharing anything like that on my show, that'd be great.
So you said we are GnawBears, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's roll. That's up and running. We're good to go.
Those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types might not have made it in. So
separate words, guys. Do separate words. Those that have done it together. Sorry, it's my fault. Do we are GnawBear as with a space in between. Otherwise, it won't pick up. It's pretty sensitive. Okay, so
now that we've got that, I've got it up there. So 190 was from the last set of phase that was on the standard GnawBear accounts. I picked it up yesterday. It was still available under his wallet. There were a couple others there that are, I can't remember the price at the moment. I think they also are still owned by that same wallet. It's got some good traits here. It's got rainbow fur. These traits also people. All right, this is another thing I'm going to point out. The collection may be shifted to another new account and maybe handling under drift and all these kinds of things. It doesn't change your GnawBears. It doesn't change the GnawBears I hold. I haven't let go of a single GnawBear. I love them. So it's also got that axe was a 1%.
Guys, just to add to this, there was a comment. Now we're getting loads of we are GnawBears. It's plural, guys. Those people that are putting singular. Just to add to what Andrew's saying here, and to a comment that was above. What's going to be, with the traits and the utility, and what are we going to get? I think it was Arnob that said, "What are we going to get as utility?" To start off with, for the first couple of weeks, there isn't going to be anything that we're going to be attributing to these, just purely for us settling into this, right? We are going
the regular drops that he was doing. I don't know I can't promise that we're going to see a lot of that at the moment. But we'll figure out what that means.
What we're going to do for sure, Arnob, because I know you're helping us as well, which is super appreciated with the Extreme Crew and everything, by the way. So big shout out to Arnob for all the help you're doing with the quizzes and everything. We'll come on to that. What we want to do is we want to set up a separate channel within Drift Exchange, which is going to be for the new wave of the GnawBears holders, right? So we can basically corral everyone into Discord. That is the new Drift Exchange new phase 2 of they're called Origin. I think Nor wanted us to call them Origin X because they are the ones before the last drop, right? With all these.
I didn't hear that. I just heard that now. That's all right. We can name the channel.
No, I mean, just as a kind of as a kind of fond name for them. You've got X, GnawBears X.
I can make the collection name that on the page.
Okay. It's absolutely, for us within the community, we can call them that within the Discord, right? But what we want to do is we want to collect the people that own them, right, within one place. A little bit like, you remember back in there was like the sewerlings, wasn't there, right? Where you had a community. Well, Jack's, we're not going to stand on that because I know Jack's got, his mystery school, etc. And I think that's kind of similar. So what we're going to do is with the new collection is we'll have on Discord, because we're going to be bringing some really cool things to the Discord. Arnold and myself have been talking about multiple different things, and we are going to be expanding the Drift Exchange Discord to be doing some really interesting things that we think you're going to really love inside that. So what we want to do is create a channel. When you buy one, you go in there, and then happy days on the Discord, you can put that as your profile pic if you want. If you don't, that's fine. But you can jump into there as an owner, very much like the boards, Extreme Crew, all these kind of different collections that have their own kind of community.
Stella's soon. We have a Twitter page now. We've got a web designer for Stella's. There's so much going on, man. Like, this is crazy. Okay, so that's exciting though. So everybody's gonna want to hop over there probably later today. Is there already a space that they can do this over there yet?
But we've got the auctions running now for
auctions are live now
five hours more, 4 or 5 hours, something like that?
Well, I started them a little early as anticipation for the show, and we are sitting at here. We'll look at them here. We're at just about 4 hours on the first two, a little over 4 hours on 3 and 4, and numbers 5 and 6 are at 4.5 and just 5 minutes under 5 hours. So you've got some time. They few have bids already, and yeah, it's looking good to me.
Okay, so our knob has clarified that, you see, this is how much of a good guy this dude is. He's going to be having that done by the auction's end. So he's going to have a channel with Drift Exchange for you to be growing the community of the new bear holders. And what I can say to you, which is another interesting thing, which is being given to me by Phil to talk to you about, is we are also going to be adding some of these Gnaw innovations into the Drift Exchange DAO, which is going to be happening on the 27th, right? So what I mean by that is the community, it's going to be the first time ever on Stellar, the community is going to be essentially in charge of a collection.
We are not.
Right. So, you guys are going to be able to say, well, we need to do the Stellars bears, or we want to, set up a
Stellar punk bear. You want whatever.
You might want to make a proposal using your drift tokens, and then people vote on that. We've only got to wait 1 more week, and then we can start voting on those community governance ideas. So this is like almost time to perfection, where we're getting a collection that you guys are going to be able to direct. Yeah, every one of you is going to have a direct impact, should you wish to do so with your drift tokens, voting on those proposals or making proposals yourselves. So this is like a whole, there's so much to unpack in this show. As we've said, it's very, very difficult to try and take it all in, but we're rolling. So what we expect is that these ones will probably go for a premium 1 through 6. Because this is the first ones, right? Everyone's excited. They're coming back. But in the essence of Gnaw, we want to be ensuring that people are grabbing these for like $50 as well, right? We want the more of the minnows to be able to come in. It's all very well if you've got 1,000 XLM, you can, throw in on the, the first batch or something. But we want the minnows to get on these. So as we doing these, we sincerely hope that you guys are respectful. If there's some lower, some lower bids, you're allowing some of those people to get in, because we want to try and be as inclusive as we can at Drift Exchange and allowing these cool bears to be gobbled up by not just the big boys and the big girls who have got the big assets, but the ones that are like at the smaller scale as well. Yeah,
we don't want the big girls with their big assets. We don't want them grabbing all the Gnaws for themselves. So
as long as it's videoed.
As long as they pick up a few Stellas, it's fine.
God, I'll get lynched, wouldn't I? Imagine me doing anything politically correct. They'd have me hung, drawn, and quartered around Wolverhampton.
No, never. We love you. Never.
So for me, that's the essence. I'm going to be doing a Twitter Spaces tonight, 1600. Oh, sorry, 1800. 1600. What am I talking about? 1800, which is like an hour and 20 minutes away, on my Boring Crypto, where you can ask questions. We can go into a little bit more detail about all of this, what we're unpacking, right? So if we can't cram it into this show, we can go back and talk about certain things on that Twitter Spaces, which I'm excited to be bringing you. We also have something else cool on the NFT front to be bringing you. Have we finished, Andrew, on the GnawBears for now?
I mean, I think people get it, right? Yeah, I think so. The only thing that isn't set up is who's going to really be tweeting about the GnawBear collection information. Now, Phil had wanted it to be connected to the Drift Exchange, Twitter page. So I need to talk to Fred about that. Yeah, I think that's really the only other thing is where people will see tweets. So, I mean, I don't know how we want to handle that, if that's just about talking about that later. I don't want it to be too confusing with me constantly tweeting about new GnawBears when I probably should be just tweeting about myself on my own page, not like, I don't know, retweeting.
I think that he's mistakenly given me control of the Drift Exchange Twitter. So
so you're in. Okay, so you're in control. So
I have access to it. So what I can do is, because I'm totally respectful that you're investing time into the GnawBears thing for Drift Exchange, move most of the tweets that we're going to be doing in terms of drops and information to Drift Exchange, and you can keep yours for Stellars and Punks and all the cool stuff you're doing.
Yeah, and whatever else needs to be said.
Of course, you can retweet and say.
That's what I mean. I just don't want to like confuse people or have like even too much to do on my own page, and it just seems like, yeah, all right. But especially since like it should be under the Drift Exchange Twitter page anyway, because it's Drift News. So that's the way it needs to be handled.
100%. I think everything's moved so quickly. It's kind of pulled the carpet, hasn't it? And all of us, or the tablecloth off the table, and all of us are a little bit still startled.
There's no carpet pulling around here.
I didn't use the R word.
I don't know what a carpet is. What's a carpet? A carpet's a thing you fly around in a non-PC world in a Disney movie.
Okay, sorry, I wasn't going to use the. I was like, pull the. Don't say the R word, carpet.
I'm going to do stellar carpets in like a week. If just limited 5 specially made carpet NFTs.
Maybe I put that on the side of my camper van this summer. Stellar carpets.
Stellar carpets.
Like a roll hanging out the back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Rick look, Rick does staircases and banners. We need a carpet guy. Clearly, Stellar's about building houses. So if you know a man that's into brick and mortar, I really like someone to come and look at my plumbing.
This is how our conversations normally go, like both being Geminis. We start off by speaking to each other, and then the twins take over, and then they start talking, and before you know it, we're talking about plumbing. And
these people are going to leave. They're going to be like, oh, they're not talking about GnawBears anymore. I don't give a crap. What the hell is a Drifty anyway? I think it's a button with googly eyes on it. That's what I think it is.
Oh, dear. Right, back. Let's be sensible. Let's bring some value to our listeners. Okay, guys, we have more on the Gnaw. More Gnaw at 1800 UTC, which is around about 2 p.m. for you guys in Eastern Standard Time. Okay, we are going to talk to you about something else that we have done, and I say we very loosely, that is actually an idea coming out from Nola. Right. So Nola, being the community manager at Drift Exchange, has said, I want to do something for the minnows. I want to do something fun and engaging for those people that are, coming in. I think she said her girlfriend has got a couple of thousand drift, not big hitters, but the people that are wanting to get involved in the Stellar experience, NFTs and holding assets and all sorts of different things. And we were like, okay, let's listen to what this is. And just this last week, she has said she wanted to see us do something where we had a new collection. And this collection was centered all around like a fun character who would then unlock. We talk about unlockable content, and we talk about what utility and what access points. So a fun character that could then unlock a certain club, right? So let me try. I
think this is so fun. Like all this drift stuff is like completely different from anything you see in NFTs. It's just, it is. We did this last week. I know we talked about this last week, but it's just another one that just makes me go, this is just like too like cool. So go ahead. I'm sorry, that's me commenting.
No. Oh my God, Heather is a Gemini as well.
Yeah, I married a Gemini. So she's a Gemini. That was not by design, but it just so happened. She's a Gemini. Her grandfather was a Gemini. Her great uncle is a Gemini. I think she's got 2 more aunts. At least one that are all Gemini. So there's a lot around in my life.
If you're listening, Nor, out there in the wherever it is.
Seraph is so into all this stuff, so he's just like he's looking at charts right now, trying to triangulate how the rest of this year is going to play out.
Most likely, but if you're listening to this, we do need a bear on a flying carpet. So, if you've got your tablet out tonight and you're just like kind of warming your fingers up thinking, I'm a bit bored, I've got nothing on, do a bear on a flying carpet. Yeah, that, he did the Great Bull in the library. Well, now the bear on the flying carpet is like something that I'm going to put on like back order. So
we're going to put all collections on flying carpets. Like that would be a cool thing to do, right? If
Dablo's Piggy Punks are going to be on flying carpets.
Right. Like this is what I'm saying. Like, so if everybody made one for every type of thing, and then everybody could go and say, oh, which ones did you get? Well, I missed out on the Stellar Punk flying carpet, but I did get the Piggy Punk flying carpet, or I missed out on Shibu Pup carpet, or whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be that,
Oh no, the hashtag flying carpet now. We need to get that. We need to get that trending.
The hashtag like new flying carpets.
Colette said that her husband is Gemini. She never knows what she's going to wake up with. Well, I hear you.
I never know what I'm going to wake up with. The both of us wake up some days and I'm like, who are you? Luckily, we know the other one pretty well, so it's fine.
Let me share a screen, right? And then we'll get back to something that resembles normality.
Well, we were talking about Driftys, and I totally threw you off because so the idea is when you get a Drifty, there's a game involved, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. What we've got is we've got a brand new collection from the man, the legend that is Sir Cheesley. Now we all know his boards have been ridiculously popular. Really super fun, super cool. We're all bored every day in the thread. And it's like this ironic
board.
And we've now scoured every corner of the cryptoverse for the most boring gifts. And we have a collection of horses' arses, weird dudes jumping around in bikinis, foxes jumping into the snow, and boring coming down on a constant loop. But no, joking aside, it's a really cool. So we thought really cool collections. We thought, why not speak to SC about doing Nola's idea, which is a fun, affordable collection from Drift Exchange that is going to then unlock a club. And the club has been set up on Telegram. And what it actually is there for is I've put a tip bot in there with Papaya Bot. So every time a Drifty sells, you will then get access to the Driftys Street Crew. That's what it's called, right? So you'll get invited into Driftys Street Crew. Every time the team, whether it be myself or Nola, SC, Phil, I think we're going to be bringing Rick in and a couple of others, of course, Glow and Susanna. Anytime one of those guys does something with regard to Drift on socials, could be YouTube, Discord, anything else. If you retweet it or you do the action, you get sent a tip. Now, there's different levels, right, that you can attain. So different ranks. So when you go on a Telegram, you get like, say, mod or admin, or you get these little tags, don't you, next to the names. You are going to get a rank. And the rank will be according to how many tips you've been paid. So if you do 10 shares of social content, for example, you move up a rank. And you can then start climbing the ranks. And as you climb the ranks, each rank has a different amount of drift that you'll get as a tip. So the more involved you become on our social channels and spreading the word of Stella and Drift and our quizzes and all the other stuff we're going to be doing, the more drift you can accrue. So you can essentially buy a Drifty, and all the Drifties at the moment are standard reserve price of just $20, right? Just 100 XL.
I want that wizard Drifty.
So the lizard one?
The wizard one.
Oh, the wizard. Sorry, down the bottom.
I wish is there a lizard one?
No, there isn't yet, but there might be. Yeah, there's going to be also, how SC's mind works. There's going to be ones with hats, glasses, probably lizards now we say it as well. But I like this angry one. Yeah, he's got like the beef, hasn't he? Look at him.
Yeah, that's like that's most of Twitter, right? This is the people that just can't let it go, right? Just like just
So essentially, to cut a very long story short, because I know we are running out of time, but the Drifty Club is one for the minnows to come in. As you can see here tonight, we've got these auctions, reserve 100 XLM. Yeah, so you can come in and you could snag one of these cool Drifties that you might want to have as your profile pick. You might just want to have it, or you might not want to be involved in the Drifty Street Crew. But if you do want to be involved in Drifty Street Crew, you can get the money back or the crypto back for your investment into your NFT, essentially allowing you to access NFTs for zip. Nothing, nada, nout, no expense on the back end. Of course, on the front end, you've got to put your 20 bucks in. But if you want to spread the word of what Drift is doing, whether it's with the Gnaw project, Extreme Crew, Driftys, a whole host of things that we're doing, if you want to share that word with others, then you will get rewarded by us with our little bot. So we wanted to do that. But when I say we, I'm putting it back onto Nola. This is Nola's idea. And I think it's really
yes. Cool. Thank you for saying that, because I was going to bring that up and I was waiting for that bit of info.
Yeah,
this is partly, since it's her idea,
But what we've got here as well, guys, is obviously support of not just, I don't think just Nola in so much as, one of the stellar women, and she's a minnow herself, as she admits, and she's new, but she's ice-breaking new ground in coming up with this, this basically a social collective, isn't it? Where people are wanting to be part of something where they're consistently, there's going to be up to 3 tasks per day. So you can get 3 tips a day, and you can earn every single day, you can earn free crypto.
And that's about being incredibly active for an NFT thing. Like, so that's just so cool. I really applaud all of you for the things that you guys are doing. It makes me it really makes me smile in like simplest ways, and helps me think of new ways to do things too, because like we're all learning from each other, and I think that's terribly important as well, especially with what is going on with the Stellar Women projects. That's a group effort sort of project. I created the Stellas not just to create another collection. That was not my intent. My intent was to actually help Dixie with things that we had been talking about for weeks, and so when it hit me, I contacted her and Nola immediately, because it was something they needed to base an opinion on a thing that I had just popped up in my head. And, it turned into a whole thing. It gave them, especially Dixie, the thing that she really wanted to do for a whole, and bringing in more projects, bringing in philanthropy, bringing in action token. Every Stella is an NPC character for the action token verse. That is going to be integrated 100%. I can confirm that from Jose from Action Token. I'm designing at the moment 5 NPCs for him of my own design. Frankly, people have been putting their Stellar Punks onto plots. So the mere fact that he can take Stellas means he can take Stellar Punks. Every collection is available to a world of opportunities here with the things that are being built. So it overjoys me really with excitement, because we were hit with something that threw us all apart, and people are still feeling edgy about how they feel about opinions and how people type things and words. Let it go. All right, it's time to let it go. It's time to just have some fun. And if you want to have some fun with this stuff, you're more than welcome to. You're not required. No one's required to do anything like what we're talking about, collecting any single one of these NFTs. If you want to, great. You're going to get something cool out of it. And it's just really exciting. I can't believe today that we're actually going to have a Stella Bear. now we're gonna think about stellar bears. You know, me and Sarah were talking last night just about things we wanted to draw for each other. So you just said, you know, a gnaw on a carpet, he has to draw that. I told him to draw a superhero, and he's got me on two dwarves who are celebrating and drinking together. So I think this is a very exciting time. We're trying to be very positive. You know, the artists, like, we need this. We need to be more positive. We can't be focused on politics surrounding these things. So if people want to do their political thing about opinions on this stuff, great. I love all of you for it. But some of us just need to just be drawn. You know?
And I think that, like you say, when you're a creative, it's in any way, whether it's through your drawing, through art, through innovation, through video, through collaborations, however your creative juices flow, I think all the negative energy does is just knock people back, whether it be for a day, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, or so on and so forth. For me, I went on to like the action token plots, and I couldn't decide whether I put a tweet out. I was looking around.
I heard your there's some like, funky names on there for where the places are put.
There's some really far out. There's some like stellars and some punks and some like cool pictures of people, you know, themselves, like selfies, and then there's like Stalin, Biden, and Zuckerberg.
Weird names, Hitler. Yeah.
And it's like you got the whole thing going on.
The whole metaverse.
Yeah, you got the whole things going on. So that's going to be really interesting.
Now, Jose explained a bit of what that looks like right now. You know, that's basically an on paper sort of example of what it will look like in a 3D form. That's an alpha test on everything that anyone is interacting there on the action token with their plots. So when that thing goes to beta, we'll see it in a new sort of scope, and he is working on 3D models. You know, they just submitted their game app to Android Apple for their NFT capture game. That's very exciting, and you know, this is a really big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. You know, like we were speaking about. You know, I must admit, I just haven't had the time until the end of last week to get immersed.
People have been immersing themselves.
You know, I bought like 3 plots of land and some action tokens, and I was trying to work out what the hell. And to be quite honest, I still don't have a clue what is going on. You know, and that's because I haven't read.
It's early.
Yeah, and I haven't got like immersed in all the stuff. But
it's sort of like, let me put it this way. Let's say like you were a frontiersman or something, or you were moving, it was a long time ago, and you were moving from where you were to a place that it's just a stretch of land and a lot of plots for sale, and there's nothing there, right? Let's say you're playing Sim City and you got to start on empty space. That's essentially what's happening with Action Token. You are looking at your stake of digital land. So at the moment, that doesn't look like a lot. But when you look at what other ones are doing out there, these other metaverse land plot owning games, they're highly interactive and growing very fast. I find them to be probably that new age sort of gaming. You know,
a new thing. Talking about new age,
yes.
The word new. To finish us off before we do the draw.
Yes,
our knob has surpassed himself again.
Within minutes.
Yeah, he's done the cave, which is tremendous. And you know, I'm really looking forward to getting in there as well. Believe me, there's no easy route for me. I've got to get my sniping skills on the ball and get myself one of these new bears to get into the cave. But there's also something he's bought and he tried out for us yesterday, and that is the quiz. A couple of you guys I saw went for the Drift Exchange trivia quiz on Discord. What we're doing tomorrow, maybe tonight, depending on if I get time, is we're buying the premium trivia quiz, and we're going to be starting to do quizzes on different NFT artists, on different NFT projects, on different. Yeah, I just picked up the answer just a second ago. I was like, okay, I need to speak to him about what this is going on.
You can rate your plots out.
We are going to promote a variety of artists, of projects, of Stellar Network itself in quizzes. And we shall be approaching different projects to be saying, do you want to support our quiz, which is about your project? Do you want to give us some of the tokens? And then we'll host quizzes, almost like a quiz night. Here in the UK, quiz nights are very popular. Everyone likes a quiz. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing that, and then they will be able to win prizes, sometimes in drift tokens, sometimes in others. So if you want to be part of that, that is also something we're going to be having a channel for, and we're going to be doing over the next few weeks. So Stellar quizzes, maybe Drift Exchange, might be a quiz on Andrew himself, might be a quiz on Nor. Who knows? But you watch out for the quizzes.
A quiz on the collection, a quiz on the history of Stellar, on Lightman. It could be
anything, but it's all going to be crypto related, and then we'll chuck in a random left field general knowledge quiz and some bits and pieces, maybe a history quiz, and we'll get people thinking. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
It should be a lot of fun. I'm going to pull up that GnawBear again as soon as I find it. Now, see, that's the other thing. Like, so, you know, that new GnawBear account, that's a new account. That's tied to a Drift email. That's not connected to me in any way other than me managing it and doing what I'm told and being curator of bears. If anyone has any questions, go consult the NFT that GnawBear created for me.
Yeah, so we'll be doing a lot
Gatekeeper
of the Q&A.
will let you know.
We'll be doing a lot of the Q&As. Good for Sam to still be with us, and he's put, without a doubt, Nor is genius. Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have one of the top artists on the network back, Sam. You know, I think we're all equally as thrilled when you've got someone up there in the top 2 or 3, you know, artists on the network, and they come back again, and he's starting to do some innovative stuff on other projects. It's a huge boost. You know, it's a huge boost for all of us, isn't it? It really is.
Well, I lost a friend too. Just not to get too like inundated in this whole discussion, but I got very close to Gnaw. We talked about a lot of stuff. You know, we talked a lot about a lot of art. You know, and for him to for him to have to go away like he did, it hurt. Just as someone who just enjoyed talking to the guy. So it's good to be able to talk to him how I have been over the last course of the day. 24 hours or whatever. Where are you not?
Yeah, I totally agree. By the way, I wasn't laughing at what you were saying. I was laughing at Colette here saying we should have a quiz.
Oh, I wasn't even actually looking at your screen, to be honest.
Oh, that's good, because it's a quiz on Gemini, she said. Well, you would be still trying to work that out a good 12 months later, I'm quite sure. There's no doubt about it. Arnob said he's lost a mentor. Well, guess what? That mentor is back contributing, so you haven't lost
your
anyone.
Mentor is here. He is here. Yeah. It may not. I get that people want like the GnawBear account, right? They want that back. That's that. I have no way of basing any sort of like opinion on that. I know that Gnaw personally has a lot to do for Action Token. Like the amount of NPCs I think he said to me was a lot. Guys, like he's got a lot of work to do. So if anything, this whole the him coming back in the way he has is about him expressing himself in a new manner. You know, he's an artist. We're seeing line art from him. Okay, he's making a what looks like a generative art collection essentially, but it's drawn. You know, it's all his line art. This isn't just the pixel bears. The GnawBear collection exists. He creates the Gnaws. They will go beyond the 999 that we currently have. But that's going to take 6 months to a year to do. You know, at like 6 to 9 a week. We're right down now. We're going to do 6, I think. So 6 a week, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we are. It's exciting.
Like I said, and we may change depending on the community. What we've got to say is it's
right. And then you have the whole DAO aspect. So this is
Yeah.
all new. This is like even bigger than it was before, isn't it? I mean, it's more. It's what it was, but with some extra wheels and whistles and all sorts of stuff on it. You know,
Right.
Frankly, I'm excited because there's so much that I didn't know coming into today. And all the things you've said today is also news for me too. And I'm a collector. I'm not going to try to take too many of these new gnaws from people, but I put a bid on one, just for the hell of it. So outbid me if you want. I am not attached. I want these to go to the people who have missed them so much.
Absolutely, 100%. So, guys, first collection on Stella that is controlled by the people as of next week. You get to say what you want to see, and if people vote and they agree with you, you might help direct this GnawBears Origin X or GnawBears X. Yeah,
no carpets.
Direct that, and to what your idea may actually turn that whole project in a whole new different direction, which is super exciting.
And someone is going to get an old bear. Yeah, he's a young bear, but he's an old he's an old rainbow bear.
Let's share the screen. Let's do the giveaway.
All right, here we go.
We are GnawBears. We've got 23 entries. We are going to do our draw. Good luck, everyone. I'm really excited for you all. I hope that this lands in a brand new home. Let's go.
Rick doesn't have a plot. Jeez, that doesn't seem right.
Gods in the land.
All right. Congrats, man. You got yourself GnawBear 90. I mean, we saw it earlier. Sorry, GnawBear 90. 190. I'm sorry. If it's a Forest Day background, those are JPEG mountains. Like, that's awesome. I think. Okay, so the other thing about this GnawBear, he's wearing a pirate hat. The first new GnawBear in the collection on Drift has a pirate background. Okay, I've noticed that. Round 3 of the Extreme Crew is going to happen before we know it. I see this as mental foreshadowing.
Yeah, we're going to be, and this is going to be the biggest and best what we're going into, what we've been speaking about. Pirates. I've literally got the box job that I've got to be writing for those dudes. I've got it in my head, but I've just got to write it out for those dudes tonight. So we're going heavy into, they did really well, by the way. Credit to Lumen Jack who got it. It was a little bit of a guess, was close to getting it, and then he was kind of, he missed out on taking the whole reward pool for himself, and then the rest of the team or the Extreme Crew, they got it. So they've gone for the multiplier, they've brought guests back in, and we are looking at doing the box job. If they get that, they get a 2x multiplier on their rewards. That is going to be a hell of a lot of fun over the next day. I hope to do it tonight, guys. I'm running out of time. If I can't get it tonight, we'll
running out of time.
We're out of time.
Are you running out of drift? How are the drift bucks?
I haven't even given they've done the first, they've got their first drift bucks.
They're filling them all.
But these are going to be drift bucks. But as I said before, the drift bucks have a real token reward associated with them. So they're going to get drift bucks, but then the drift bucks are going to be different tokens and different rewards, and then they can decide amongst themselves what they actually want to get. So super cool, exciting stuff. And thank you for doing those, dude. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I hope they came out okay. I hope they were what you were looking for. You put me to challenge with the one when you're like, I want it to look like the 1700s because we want to reflect back to that time. And I was like, oh God, that stuff was super intricate. This is not the time to be doing like that kind of work. But so I did a lot of looking at old money, and I manipulated some photoshopping. I took it into my digital painter. I redid the whole thing for painting. So that took enough time to get that one the way it did. And then I just drew out the other one and gave George Washington an eye patch. So I hope that was enough.
It was absolutely perfect. It really was. Arnob's looking at me now like, I'm sure there's something in this. But we have other, there's just so many little things, You're just so crazy with these games, man. When you send me little ideas and I think we're looking at a really good time for things to turn around. There's a lot to talk about every week now. So
You guys better not come up with another collection in another week, because we didn't cover X Racers. I don't know how that's going. We're at an hour and 15 minutes. I barely got to talk about Stella's, but check out the Twitter page, guys. Heather Owlpost is the Twitter page manager, whatever you want, social media manager. She's the lore writer at the JPEG DAO. She's the lore writer for Stella's. So we'll have more news on that, I think, maybe next week. I had plans to do another Stellar Woman episode today and have another guest on, but this was just a thing that had to, it took a lot. We had to do a lot. So thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for supporting and sharing all the things that you do every day, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I think thank you to everyone that contributes. I put a little post out the other day, and it's a wrong really, but I put in with Intrastellar Project people who stood out for me. But then I was thinking, I've missed out maybe another 50 people that are like, really hammering different areas. Heather being one, Colette being another one. There's so many. I could keep going on and on and on.
This is why I tend to not do those list posts, because I feel like as soon as you make a list, you're going to forget somebody.
Well, yeah, people,
and to me, everybody here is a freaking rock star.
Yeah,
in my mind,
agree.
So it's like I tried to do that the other day. I tried to list a bunch of projects, and I forgot the one that's one of the ones that's most important to me, and it just made me feel like crap for like 30 minutes. Because so that's like it's silly. It's silly stuff.
I think that there's we can do maybe our top 10 and then 10 different things, like top 10 non-project contributors on Stellar and top 10 people in teams and top 10 so we can cover everyone maybe on lists. Do you know what I mean? Everyone that's in there will fit onto one list. Certainly everyone that logs into these shows.
Something I'm going to mention really quick. Dixie did something the other day. She made a Twitter post that featured Stellar news, so little highlights of what's happening in the community, of what people have been doing. And it was nice little, it was like good little project info, like what our show was going to talk about today, the Driftys. It had like a fun little post about Sam's vacation. I think that's really fun and lighthearted, that every week people get a little tweet reminder of things that are happening in the community. That's really good, because there can be just a lot of noise. So it's that, I think that's nice. And we'll try to do more of that on here too, as a thing. Like, just, I know we were looking at top artists before and what's hot. I think we're getting back to that now, so that's good.
I think we're through. I'd say we're through the stormy sea. I see it as the first day of spring, not just in terms of Northern Hemisphere. First day of spring in terms of us planting the seeds that can grow into a beautiful harvest throughout the rest of the year. Now we're through the troubled time in the way that it's been, and we're all about creation, about collaboration, about support, and about a really sunny few months for the Stellar Network. So I'm stoked. I'll join you guys 1800 on Twitter Spaces if you want to talk more about the stuff we're talking about. If you're bored of my voice, go out and have a lovely day, whatever you're up to. Take care. Cheers.
Take care. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.